most music creators, they end up failing. And ironically, it's not because of lack of talent or mediocre music. I'm XO Xuded. I've had over 2 million streams on my original music without paying a single dollar in promotion. And I'll tell you 5 common yet easily avoidable mistakes that you could skip past. That way you don't end up like most music creators. Mistake number 1. Artists want in 10 weeks what could take up to 10 plus years to get. And imagine like a workout routine that's like certified, like the best bodybuilders ever use this routine. And you got 3 different types of people, right? You got person number 1. They do the workout routine for 1 day. And at the end of the day, they look down at their body and they're like, shit, this doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't feel any bigger. My stomach doesn't feel any trimmer. You feel me? Like I might just be the exact same. And I did all this work. This workout routine don't work at all. Why the fuck would anybody do this? That's person number 1 on day number 1 already saying that the routine doesn't work. Person number 2 says, dumbass, you did it for a day. What are you talking about? I'm going to do this for 10 weeks. 10 weeks, I'm going to put in all this work. What's the routine? What's the diet? I'm going to make sure I do it every single day for 10 weeks straight. And at the end of the 10 weeks, the person number 2, they look down at their body and they're like, damn, okay, I got a little bit more muscle. You feel me? Like I'm starting to see a pack or 2. There might be 3 or 4. Am I going to be on my way to a 6-pack? I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But damn, it's been 10 weeks. 10 weeks. That's like 70 days. I've been doing this shit for 70 days and this is all I got. How much do I only got how much more weight and muscle? Man, I basically look the same. Like I see a little bit of a change, but look at me compared to the day 1 person. They got no change and I got a little bit of a change, but I've been doing this for 70 days. They did it for 1 day. What the fuck? Now, person number 2, they might look at this same exact routine that person number 1 did, and they just chalked it off like this routine sucks. Now, person number 2, they look at this routine like, I mean, it kind of works, but what the fuck, man? After 70 days, you get just a little bit of a return. You know how much time I put in? If I worked out an hour every single day, I put in 70 hours. My nigga, I put in 70 hours in this workout, and I got like a little bit of muscles. I got a little bit less fat. What the fuck? I might as well have not done this. I could have just used that same 70 hours, put that energy and that time into something else, and I'd be, oh my God, I'd be so much further beyond because that grass on the other side of that fence over there, that shit look green as fuck. I mean, it looked luscious, man. Now, person number 2, they quit the workout routine and they hop over the fence where it's all green and nice and sunshiny where the unicorns are and shit, right? Person number 3, they look at this routine and they're like, all right, bet. This the routine? That's where I want to be. I don't know how long this is going to take, but fuck it. Sign me up. You feel me? Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Let's get it. And then they put in 10 years. Not a day. Not 10 weeks. They put in 10 years. And see, the thing is, whether it's you working out, whether it's you wanting to be the most successful music artist of your generation, whatever the fuck you want to be, the greatest chef, the greatest actor, the greatest whatever, you got to put in the time. You feel me? There's no work around that. See, person number 3, they didn't have the results after a day either. They didn't have the results after 10 weeks either, but in their head, they already knew that they was in this for the long haul. They was in this until they were like, wait a minute, I was doing a routine. Oh, this is just like second nature now. This is just a part of my routine. It's a daily thing. It's been 10 years. You look up, it's been 10 years and you're there. But see, the thing is, no matter what you're doing, we have a habit, and I mean people. Like we have a habit at looking at all of these aspirational things, all of these different results that we want to have and these milestones that we want to reach. But there are results that take 10 years to get. There are milestones that take 10 years to travel through the most treacherous, dark journeys to get to. You feel me? Like it takes a while to hit that finish line, my boy. But you quitting after a day, you quitting after 10 weeks. I mean, you don't even give yourself a chance. You're looking at this over here like, damn, that's exactly what I want to be. You see that right there? And what you're pointing at, what you're looking up to. This goal took 10 years for that person to get. This goal that you might have even made up in your head, you might not even be looking at somebody else. You might have just made up this inspirational finish line that you've always wanted to get to. This might be a 10-year journey. You can't put a time. It might even be more. I say 10 plus years. You putting a timeline on it is honestly, it's going to end up fucking you up. Because let's say after 10 weeks, yeah, you look up and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't do this. And that person number 2 that quit after 10 weeks, 10 weeks later, they might look down at their body again and realize like, well, damn, you got that little bit of muscle that you did get, you lost it. That little bit of fat that you did lose, you gained it. And you're kind of right back where you started. And you're like, fuck it. I got it. It wasn't the workout. It wasn't me not sticking to that shit. It was actually the routine. It was probably the motherfucker who told me this shit. It's the strategy. This motherfucker told me some shit that didn't work, and I paid this shit. I paid for this strategy. I spent so much time on YouTube looking up different strategies to get this result, and man, they fucked me over. It wasn't because I didn't stick with it. And then they find another routine, and they start again. And it's been another 10 weeks, and they look down, and they're like, damn, this is it? This is it? Make sure you are measuring your results or your goals on a proper timeline, on a proper time horizon. If you can get into anything, whether it's music, obviously I'm talking to fucking artists out there, but I don't care what you want to do. If you want to get into something and be great, be willing to put in the time. Don't sit here and be like, if this isn't, what I want it to be in a year, then fuck it. Like, you already lost, bro. You might as well just stop. Like you said, take that energy and that time and put it into something else. But if you keep having that same mentality, that same mindset with everything, there's probably a reason why you're not really getting any momentum or any headway on anything. But that leads me to mistake number 2, which is inconsistency. And this is one of the most self-sabotaging things that you can do. And this isn't one of those where I'm pointing the finger at you, how dare you. This is actually, I'm kind of talking to myself. Out of all the mistakes, this is probably the one that I suffer from the most. And sometimes it could feel like burnout, where you're doing so much of the same thing over and over, and you look up and it's like, God damn, why am I not getting to where I want to be? And that kind of ties back into the last mistake, where you're putting a timeline on this. You're sitting here, instead of just doing the work, and that is where you get the W from, is I did the thing. You're sitting here putting all of these different metrics on it, where it's so easy to burn out. It's so easy to just be like, bro, why am I doing this? But putting the mentality part of it aside, what if you just have a hard time being consistent? You just have such a busy life that it's hard to continuously put out content and music and stay up to date with all of the different things that you need to do and the new strategies and tools and all of this shit. I mean, I hate to break it to you, you feel me? Like, you don't become Michael Jordan or LeBron without dribbling the fucking basketball for a long goddamn time, without shooting the ball a lot of fucking times. You feel me? Like, you got to put in the time. There's no workaround. There's no shortcut. At the end of the day, you just got to put in the time. But if you do end up being consistent for a period, you start to build up some momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like the train. I think I can. You're going up this big ass hill. And then when you stop, bro, you just end up falling down. And then you start up again a little bit later and you stop and you fall back down. But imagine you're pushing a car and all you see is the back of the car, and you look down and you might see a little bit of road moving, but you can't really see too far in front of you. So you see a little bit of the road between your feet is actually changing. So you have to be making some sort of progress, right? You have to be making some sort of movement. But all you know is, like, this shit hurts. Like, you are pushing a car right now. This shit is uphill right now. You feel me? Like, sweat is coming down your forehead. It's getting into your eyes and you can't even see. And you're like, fuck, man. Can I just take a break? Don't take a break too long, because when you do, the car goes down the hill. And like I said, it's just that constant cycle of, let me start up and I'm going up, and let me stop and you go right back down. Let me start up and I go up, and I go right back down. But if you just keep on going, you never know when that downhill is. You feel me? You never know when you're going to have that exponential growth, that momentum that just continues to push itself. Mistake number 3, You never establish any sort of brand. You are working so hard trying to get your music heard that you never thought about making sure that you yourself got recognized or noticed or remembered. And it really doesn't matter how good you feel like your music is. It doesn't matter how bad somebody else might think it is. At the end of the day, if you have a group of people that rock with it, you feel me? Like, that's all that really matters. And because we're not living in the age where you got to get signed by some A&R to some label, man, everybody could be fucking independent now, which means you could go find your tribe. And I could probably go through dozens and dozens of songs in the top 100 right now that I think are god-awful. And that's kind of just proving my point that it doesn't really matter on the subjective opinion of different people as far as what they think about your music, as long as it's obviously not trash. And even then, man, you might be surprised. There might be people that like to listen to like laughably, comically bad music. I don't know, man, but there's fucking groups for everything out there nowadays. My point is, it's going to be less reliant on the quality of your music or the taste of some A&R saying, yes, you check all of the boxes and you meet the criteria of what an artist should sound like and what the next thing should sound like. The real thing that's going to be a differentiator is going to be your brand, because there is so many different platforms out there that allow people to just put out their music, whether they're doing it the official way where they got a distributor and they're getting it on Spotify, Apple, and all that. Some people are just, it's a hobby and they're putting out TikToks and reels and putting shit on YouTube and they're just having fucking fun, and shit is still popping off. You got people that have never officially released a song before and they just fuck around on a TikTok and boom, wow, I guess I'm an artist and I have millions of monthly listeners now. You feel me? So because of this, it's more about who are you as a brand? How are you not going to be replaceable? There is so much fucking talent out there. There's so many talented musicians that will never get the recognition that they actually want. And because of that, your talented piece of art, your song, it might get some people heated. It is fucking replaceable, man. It's replaceable, like, to a certain extent. Like, nobody has, like, my story and my song is a special snowflake. Like, I get it. Yes, every song is technically different and all that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not too hard to find good music. You feel me? It's not too hard to find a good artist in any fucking genre right now. Like, people are not like, damn, I can't find anybody. If anything, it's like, bruh, there's so many fucking people to choose from. So let's say your song does pop off, but then what happens when you have another song that you want to release? And then the song that you want to release after that? Are they still going to pay attention? Are they only interested or paying attention to the song? I.e., the song popped off, they put it in a playlist, they never thought about you again? Or are they paying attention to you as an artist? And that's where a brand actually comes into play. You having a brand and different ties that can draw people to you, not just your music, but you as a person, you as in your beliefs and your interests and all of these different things that make you a three-dimensional artist, a three-dimensional person. You feel me? We're not just 2D, like, fucking record players. My nigga, like, we are more than just things that create music. They have AI fucking bots that make music now, bro. That's not special. It's not fucking different. Mistake number 4, not knowing who your target audience is. And imagine you're fucking Taylor Swift and you go survey a whole bunch of people that hate country pop. You feel me? Like, she just keeps trying to shove her music down the throats of all these people that just hate country pop. What do you think is going to happen? Like, are they going to give her 5 out of 5 stars? Is she going to get a standing ovation? No, she's probably going to think that her music is trash. She's probably going to think like, man, what am I doing? Like, I keep showing people all of these things, all of these songs, and it's just not working out. They just keep booing me off the stage. They keep telling me I should stop and give up and stick to my day job. Girl, you probably just talking to the wrong people. You feel me? Like, I don't care how good of a golf match it is. It could be the greatest golf match ever. I'm just probably going to be bored watching it because I don't really like golf. You feel me? Like, you gotta know who your audience is, and not having a target audience is one of the hugest mistakes that is like super common, because you're just like, man, I don't know who the fuck likes it. You like it? You got a heartbeat? You want to listen to my song? Here. Just you listen to my song. What do you think? Tell me. At first, you just want to go after anybody with a fucking heartbeat, anybody that will give you any sort of feedback and it feels genuine. You feel me? Like, you just want to get your shit out there, and I understand that, but you got to be observant. You got to look at who are the people that are actually resonating with it. When people are commenting on my music, what type of people are they? You feel me? And it might seem a little bit stalkerish, but if somebody likes your shit and they got a public account, go to their account. I don't fucking care, man. Call it market research. You got to see what type of people are actually fucking with you. You got to see what they like. In fact, go to their followers and see what other artists that they follow. There's a fucking cheat code. You want to run ads? How about you look at all of your different fans, see what different fucking artists that they follow besides you, and from there, if you notice that there are a couple artists that a lot of your fans follow, ding, 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 man, you're starting to see what type of music, other music that they like. If you're starting to notice that a lot of them start to have similar hobbies, or they start to be around the same age or gender or whatever the fuck, you start to just notice patterns. You want to start to notice any characteristics that you can start grouping people in. Mistake number 5, you gotta know what success means to you. You got to define what a successful career means to you. Is it a career at all? Is it something that you just do part-time? Like, what does success mean to you? You got to know where the fuck you're going. You can't just be in a marathon without knowing where your finish line is. I guess you could be in it, but good luck even racing. Good luck not just going around in circles or just running aimlessly. It's probably good to know what map you're running on. And that's not to say that once you hit your goal, that means, well, I'm done. The game's over. The race is over. Obviously, it is an infinite game. It's an infinite marathon. You don't just cross the finish line and say, I'm done. You know what I mean? Again, kind of taking it back to working out. You don't just say, hey, I want to get fit. I want to get swole. I want to lose weight. Whatever your milestone or goal is, rather. You don't put these things in your head and then say, hey, once I reach that, I'm just going to be like, I'm done. All right, let me lose all this fat and then let's just bring it all back. Let me get all this muscle gained and then just lose it all. No, you're not going to just stop the game once it's over. The whole point is to be self-aware enough to know where you want to go directionally. It doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't need to be every single detail. And some people actually, they say the opposite. So honestly, like, get advice from a whole bunch of different people. Do what is best for you. Me personally, I think as long as you directionally know where you want to go. But some people say to the number, how much do you want to make a year? What exactly do you want to do? Whatever the case is for you, whatever works for you, as long as you know what success is, as long as you have some sort of fucking definition, as long as you know when you look up, you're headed the right way. It's going to make things so much easier. It's going to help you avoid those things like we talked about earlier, like burnout. Like, man, it's been 10 weeks. Why haven't I gotten to where I want? Because let's say it's been more than 10 weeks. If it's 5 years in, why am I not there? But then if you're able to say, okay, this is where I started. This is where I want to go. And then here I am, right here in the middle. I have gotten a little bit of things. I have actually made a little bit of progress. I am going in the right direction. It might not take 10 years. It might take 20. But at the end of the day, if I plan on continuing this infinite game anyways, does it really matter? As long as I'm good, as long as my loved ones ain't suffering and I'm not sitting here poor, like living on the streets or anything like that, like, God forbid anything bad is happening to you, does it really matter how long it takes? You just got to know where you want to go. You got to have that sort of clarity and that self-awareness to be like, okay, here's where I'm at. Realistically, here's where I'm at. And here's where I want to go. Without that, you have nothing. Without that, you're just running blind through that marathon, just hoping that you cross through the finish line.